Good morning, Wayne. We will see you and 2 Chainz live in this studio tomorrow. But right now, it is time to skip the BS. Time for today's Undisputed. Time for you to hit us up at hashtag Undisputed Live. Time to talk opening night for the 19-year-old many are saying could be the greatest NBA player ever. Michael Irving, speaking of great, will join us in just a few minutes here on this show to talk Brock Purdy, concussion protocol, Dak versus Dallas's own Matthew Stafford this Sunday. But now it's time for me to welcome in Paul, Pierce, and Keyshawn Johnson to talk Wemby. Good morning, gentlemen.
What's happening, Skip, in the morning?
Here we go. Victor Wembanyama did debut last night in San Antonio. 15 points, 6 of 9 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. 1 block, even though foul trouble limited him to only 23 minutes. Now, he did have a 9-point flurry in about 4 fourth-quarter minutes, but late clutch threes by Kyrie, finally, and then Luka, finally, were the difference. Dallas 126, San Antonio 119. Paul Pierce, your first real game impression of Wemby.
Well, first of all, everybody knows there's a difference from preseason to regular season. You know, minutes for the starters go up, and you match up with the guys who are the stars who will be on the court for 30-plus minutes. I was thoroughly impressed for the minutes that he gave me. You know, overall, at the beginning, I was like, oh, he's going through some growing pains, foul trouble. He has to get used to the NBA refereeing and the physicality. But then he had like a Zion-like debut in the fourth quarter. Remember when Zion came in? It was like he was coasting through the first 3 quarters and fourth quarter. It looked like he was about to will his team to victory. I mean, he came in, knocked down some threes, blocked some shots. And in the defensive side of the ball, that's where I was thoroughly impressed. Look at this. He blocks Kyrie's shot from the wing, and then he makes threes effortlessly. I mean, this guy, in my opinion, he could be the rookie of the year and defensive player year all in the same year. And I don't think we've ever seen like this year.
Wow.
He can win defensive. He has that type of potential because when I watched him, you cannot score on this guy one-on-one. He can guard 1 through 5 positions. We watched him guard Kyrie right here. He's not going to drive him. He's just going to go to a step to the side, pull up, and he contests everything. So the shots that he's not blocking, he's altering. He's discouraging guys from going at the rim, shooting layups. I mean, it's impressive the impact he has on that side of the ball. And just think about it. He's still wet behind the ears. He doesn't even know the NBA game yet. And he's just been that impressive.
So when you look at it, Skip and Paul, I obviously did not lay eyes on him in the preseason summer league. Now, I mean, it was like, okay, oh, he's tall, right? You didn't have an opportunity to really look at his game and dissect it. Now, last night, there was an opportunity to look at the game and dissect it. I can tell you this, he's calm. You can see in the fourth quarter the maturity level, things that he learned from making those fouls and those mistakes. Because like Paul said, the referees, he's got to get used to that. One foul was just I'm taller than you, you under my armpits, and I went to post you up and I hit you. So, okay, now he'll understand that a little bit more. Instead of standing tall, he'll try to get low when he gets on the block before he faces somebody up. Knocking down threes, obviously, you talked about that, Paul. You talked about that, Skip. He's a guy that I look at right now, and like Paul said, he could be the defensive player of the year and the rookie of the year. When you talk about defensive player of the year, not only will he block shots, he changes his shot trajectory. So when you're looking at him guarding 1 through 5, a lot of guys are long in the NBA, you know that, Paul, and they're not very athletic. When you look at Porzingis, he's extremely tall and long, but he doesn't have the ability and the agility to do some of the things that you see this kid doing when he can step out front at the top of the key, slide left to right with somebody, and if they decide to beat him on the dribble, his length will allow him to catch up and get back in the action. So I was impressed with it. I thought, okay, all right. The only thing that still discourages me, he looks like a pencil. Now, I also understand the NBA is different than it was many years ago when you had the Charles Oakleys of the world looking to beat a guy up. He doesn't have to worry about that now because it's more of a finesse game, and it fits right into what his skill set is. I think he's here to stay. I'll hold pause for the greatest player and all that sort of stuff, Skip, till later on because we need to see a whole lot more.
Greatest potential.
Okay, we can say
that. We can say that.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to you then on that one, Paul.
Man, I am not seeing that yet. And by the way, Keyshawn, what was your playing weight? Help me out.
Like let's just keep it at about
mid-career.
Let's keep it about 215.
215-ish, 220-ish.
Yeah. Okay. See, you had to go up.
Okay, so this kid is 215 pounds right now. So that to your point. Okay, and he's 7 feet 4 inches tall, and some people
he's so
think
much bigger than me. It's not even close.
Okay, I got it. I've said this from the start. I'm going to say it again. I see all the ability at 7'4". I get all that. But at 7 feet 4 inches tall, he sees himself as more Steph than Shaq. And it drives me a little crazy that he does not want to assert himself in the paint yet at all. And I put the yet in there because, to Paul's point, he's wet behind the ears. He's 19 years of age, even though he did play 2 years of professional basketball in France. And you can say, that was France. A lot of ex-NBA players over there, a lot of soon-to-be NBA players over there. So he got a taste of professional basketball in France. He could become, by far, the greatest 7'4" distance shooter we have ever seen, because you want to talk about beautiful motion and movement and pure form. It's a beautiful stroke that he has from three. It's effortless, as Paul said, and he is fearless with it. But you can already see his favorite shot on the floor is the three-point shot, and he's 7 feet 4 inches tall. For most of the game, he had taken 4 threes. He'd made a couple of them because he could make them. He made another one that they got called on an illegal screen, so he could have had another 3. They're sweet. The arc is like beautiful. It's like to the rafters. I get all that, but it wasn't until 6:53 was left in the game that he finally made a shot at the rim. And if we could see the shot at 6:53, sort of falling sideways, and it's just a little put in, actually. The pass was slightly off target, and he almost missed it's just a lob dunk, but he had to barely get it over the rim. Okay, it wasn't Shaq-like. It didn't, like, he didn't tear the rim down. And then that kid for the other team, that
Lively?
Derek Lively. Yeah. He was the 12th pick in the draft out of Duke. And by the way, he is 7 feet 1. He didn't look it up against Wembanyama, but could we see the shot that he made on the putback dunk that came right after this? This is Lively on the putback. He just, I think we're about to see it here. He's going to soar in and just slam it. Okay, He took the game over. He actually slightly outplayed Wembanyama in total because he had 16 and 10 rebounds. And I saw at the rim presence and dominance from that kid where you say, wow, that is a significant in the paint force that I didn't see much from Wembanyama. But the point is, the flurry that he had at the end of the game, when you can score 9 points in about 4 clock minutes and the game is on the line, that was highly impressive. He sort of saved his night. And that shot that he made, remember, he's being guarded for most of the night by a 6'6" guy named Grant Williams, who used to play for your Boston Celtics. And he is your basic, hard-nosed, stout, stocky, sort of gray area NBA defender. He'll get up under you. He'll get up in you. He'll irritate you. And obviously, Jason Kidd said, just go ahead and get out on him and bother him a little bit. But if he shoots over you, he's going to shoot over you because he's, how many inches is that? That's like 6, that's 10 inches taller. He's 10 inches taller than you. And the best shot of the night was the pull-up that he made late. And it was, let me see where it is here. Yeah, it's the one that he hit over Grant Williams with 355. It was a 12-footer, if we could see this. This was sweet. If he can do this, this is Kevin Durant-like.
Yeah, they actually ran a play for him.
Yeah, they ran a play, and he just went right up over Grant Williams and said, you cannot guard me. So, again, that's just KD all day and all night. And if you can do that, whew, that's who's going to stop that? Because who's going to guard him?
And he will be able to do that. He only played 23 minutes because of foul trouble. So when you talk about Lively being able to do some of the things that he was able to do to him over a course of a full game and 35 minutes in a game, this kid is going to hurt a lot of teams because as time goes on, Greg Popovich, as you know, likes to ease people into situations so everybody gets an understanding of the style of play from that individual player, opposed to just making it all about him they was doing things with the flow of the game. When you get into foul trouble, you got to be extremely careful so you don't foul out. For a guy to have 5 fouls and still be in the game and didn't pick up his 6th foul in the late 4th quarter, that's maturity. I'll take that all day long, Skippy. You talk about him being aggressive. Well, I mean, how much more aggressive do you want him to be? The guy's 210 pounds.
He just doesn't play in the paint.
Okay, but he played the 4 for them last night when Zach Collins was essentially the 5.
Yeah, he actually plays the 3. He's
or the
a
3,
small forward.
Yeah. Or the 3.
Look at it like this. He plays on a young team. For most young teams, you got 5 or 6 guys who are still trying to prove themselves. You know, so they're trying to get their numbers. You know, they're trying to establish themselves as NBA players. And then think about it. If you're a first or second year player and Wemby coming in, you like, you know, I don't know about all that hype you got, but, you know, I've been here a couple years, so, you know, I'm not sure if I want to really pass you the ball. That's what
true.
it kind of looked like.
I got it.
You know, that's what it kind of looked like.
Yep.
It looked like a glorified pickup game because they really didn't get into a lot of sets. A lot of guys were going one-on-one, but when they got into a set, when they ran a play for him, he delivered. When they ran the pick and roll and threw it at the rim, he dunked the ball. When he ran the court and they actually looked for him, he was productive. And so his offense is great, but I think his defense is way ahead of the curve right now, and I think that's where he'll show his biggest impact for the simple fact that guys are still trying to establish themselves, still trying to make a name for themselves in the NBA, and they're going to be going for theirs. And so his biggest impact is going to be on the defensive side.
Even though he did block only the 1 shot, and it's like playing center field where you're just sort of standing in the middle of the lane and you swoop out, you're going inside out to block Kyrie's, because Kyrie took like a 15-foot jumper. Actually Dallas's first shot of the game, if we could see it again. But that's the only block that he had.
But he altered a number of shots.
He changed the trajectory of people's shots. Even on Kyrie, he stepped out of Kyrie at the 3, and Kyrie shot the ball
right
over
there,
him.
right there. That's
that was right there.
You can't even see the rim when that guy's flying at you.
No, 7
and
feet
he's
4
coming
inches
from
tall.
the paint.
And he's 8 feet long. So the length and the agility we've never seen in combination before, right? Those two things together. Okay? Yet, how many free throws did he shoot? Now, again, to Keyshawn's point, only 23 minutes, but he shot 1 free throw the whole night and missed that. But he's a good free throw. He'll be a 70-some%, maybe 80% free throw shooter. I don't have any problem with that because that stroke is pure as it can be. But the point is, he's not attacking the rim. He's not demanding the ball at the rim. And to your point, Paul, maybe not that San Antonio has any all-stars on their roster, you know, who are saying, prove it to me, kid. Like nobody else has proven much either in the NBA. But I see way more French pastry than meat and potatoes in his games.
Right?
Well, seriously. He's 7'4" and he plays outside. Am I right? I don't care. I've been watching him every game. I've seen every summer league. I've seen all the preseason. Keyshawn, I've been watching him, and I've said this repeatedly on the show.
One game.
Well, no, it's
1 game, Skip.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it again. It wasn't until 6:53 remained in the game that he took a shot that was not a 3. He is 7 feet 4 inches tall. Please explain. Please explain.
Because he can shoot the 3.
Okay,
and he can shoot it well.
A lot of that has to do with San Antonio putting him in position, though. I mean, like I said, we didn't see that because he's comfortable on the perimeter, but they got to say, hey, we got to get him the ball closer to the rim. Let's get him at the free throw line elbow a little bit to where he can operate on one dribble, make a pass from there. But we didn't see that. So a lot of this is just go out there and play, and we'll figure it out where your spots at on the run. That's what it really looked like.
And if he's comfortable in that, though, Skip, why take it away from him?
Well, I mean, that's what he is. He likes that. His comfort zone is outside the lane and also beyond the arc.
Number 1 pick in the draft because of that. So now all of a sudden you want to turn him in to the diesel. That's not what the NBA is, number 1, and that's not his strength.
Hey, if Shaquille O'Neal was 19 years old right now, he would make the NBA that way because I'd never seen anything like it before. I don't care what you say. When Shaq, from 19 till about 25, there's never been an offensive force like him. It was hard to watch, and it was impossible to referee, but I've never seen anything like it before. This is the flip side of that.
It's a different NBA than when Shaq came into the league.
Doesn't have to be.
There's only 2 post-up players.
Wait a second. Time out. Wait a second. What does LeBron James do at almost 39 years of age? He freight trains to the basket like nobody, and he is impossible. He plays bully ball. He played it the other night.
Because he has to.
Okay, because he's
His
that.
shot is not the same. No,
he is that.
He doesn't have the deadly three like these other guys in the league today.
I mean, this kid's a way better shooter than LeBron ever thought about being.
That's why he's shooting.
That's why LeBron goes to the hole.
That's why LeBron. Will you explain to him,
That's why he goes to the
Please explain to him.
I've been trying to explain to you. You keep telling me LeBron's the GOAT and he can't shoot. How can you have a GOAT who can't shoot?
We're not going to turn this conversation into LeBron because you want to.
I'm asking, but you tell me it's today's NBA. You don't do. That's what LeBron plays bully ball. I'm sorry.
LeBron James is on his way out of today's NBA. Skip.
No, he isn't.
What do you mean he's not? What do you think he's going to play another 5 more years?
He might.
Oh,
He
God,
might.
stop.
He looks great to me.
He looks
There's no
fabulous.
reason. Yes.
But he's not playing.
Wait, you kept arguing to me before the year started. He's going to average just what he did last year, whatever it was, 27, blah, blah, blah.
He played 20. He played 20. I don't want to turn into a LeBron conversation.
We're talking Wemby.
Yeah, you want to turn.
We're talking about bully ball.
No, he's not ready for bully ball.
LeBron played 23 minutes the other night. He was +7. Okay, he had 0 turnovers. He scored 21 points.
Yeah.
They put him on a minutes restriction. Now, give him the full 38 or whatever he would normally play.
You're making my case. I agree.
He's going to average 30 points a game.
I agree, because nobody can keep him from the rim. Okay,
but that's not the NBA.
It is too. That hadn't changed. Come on, stop. If that's who you are and you can do that, you do that. I'm sorry. Jokic dominates at the rim. It looks soft, but it ain't soft. I'm sorry. He is a powerful human being.
And he also
you cannot
shoots
keep him
the
from
three.
The rim. Sometimes he does. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sometimes LeBron shoots the three. Every once in a while, he goes on some hot jag where he just goes crazy for a while. Right?
Yes, Skip, but this is not about LeBron.
Okay, no, it's not. But I'm surprised Paul is so bullish on this kid because there's no bull in the kid. I don't see it at all.
He's only 19.
It's all soft. It's all perimeter. It's all.
That's what the league is today. It's a Steph Curry KD league. That's what it's turned into. Look at Porzingis. What do we see Porzingis do? He shot 5 feet behind the three.
So do you think this kid will be way better than Porzingis? Because Porzingis is really good. He was really good last night, and he has been quietly really good for 10 years in this league. Because I look at Porzingis' numbers, he's averaged 20 and 8 rebounds and 2 blocks a game. Porzingis protects the rim like crazy. He's changing the way Boston plays. He can, listen, he was a force last night. As Jason Tatum said after the game, he is really, really good, and we are thankful we have him.
I can see a lot of Wemby.
Yeah.
Porzingis and Wemby.
It is.
I mean, definitely.
Okay.
I mean, he doesn't post up much.
No,
but he's effective.
No, same idea. And he is 7 feet 3 inches tall, so he's about an inch shorter than Wemby.
Look at that. He's blocking jumpers from we guarding a man in the corner blocking the free throw jumper.
No, he can do that. he can play.
Crazy.
So you want him to put the ball on the floor right there and go to the cup?
No, I want him to post up a little bit because he's just too tall to stop.
He posted up. They didn't even look for him.
Yeah. No.
They didn't even look for him, though.
Because I don't think they think he can do that or wants to do that. That's how it came across to me. Like, that's not.
I don't think that's the case.
Action.
I don't think that's the
Paul,
case.
Do you think you could have guarded him last night? Would you have guarded him? Because a guy right out of your mold guarded him.
We ask ourselves, like, who's the type of player that you could have guard him? Because you need a guy who's mobile, who could kind of move his feet. You're
Absolutely.
Don't worry about challenging his shot. You just got to hope you can put a body on him, discourage him from getting to the rim. Because, like you said, he does line up on the perimeter a lot.
Drifts.
And he doesn't show his presence in the post. Because if he showed his presence in the post, he could be dominant, like you said. Because there's nothing that I would be able to do with him if he cut across the lane, put his hands up, and demanded the ball, and just go up and lay the ball up pretty much every time, but he's not. That's not his game.
No, it's not. This has been a pattern.
Bringing him along slowly.
Keyshawn, you got to understand. Grant Williams is guarding you mostly the whole game. He is 6'6". If I'm 7'4" and I look down, way down, and I got a 6'6" guy on me, I'm saying, please.
Of course, I understand.
What does Shaq always say? Wait a second. Mouse in the house? Wouldn't that be mouse in the house? I just say, here, give me the ball.
Questioning his heart, Skip.
No, I'm not. I'm not questioning his heart. I'm questioning his aesthetics. You know, his sort of view of the game.
Yeah,
he sees himself.
Mindset.
Yeah, his mindset is I'm a dribbler. I'm a shooter. I told you, he thinks of himself as a two-guard.
If that's the way he grew up in France, playing that way, he's now in the United States. It takes time to get that out your mind. They're bringing him along slowly.
I just think naturally as a big guy, think about a big brother, little brother situation, though. It's like when you're that big, you should be like, the closer I get to the rim, the easier it's going to be for me. And I get what you're saying. He does have the skill set to put it on the ground.
He does.
Shoot a pull-up jumper, shoot a three. But me, if I was 7'4" and I could still do all those things, I would look to say, hey, man, look, this dude is 6'6". Get it to me at the rim, and I'm just going to go up and lay it up.
I'll just go up.
I mean, that's just a natural instinct. Think about it. If you played a little kid and you can shoot three, because he's going to be playing little kids every night.
In the league, so you smaller, we're going to take advantage of you. But it takes time to understand where your game is at versus these other kids that you're playing against. And I understand, Skip, you saw him in the summer. You saw him in the preseason. He didn't impress you because he wasn't giving you...
it's not. I told you, the skill set on the perimeter is extraordinary. We've never seen anything like this before. But I'm saying, when you're that tall, you have an advantage nobody's ever had before.
But no one is saying he doesn't know that he doesn't have that he has the advantage. He understands he has the advantage. But you're also asking Popovich and them to put him in the right situation. You saw when they drew up the play for him on the turnaround, boom. As soon as he caught it, boom, knocked it down. They drew that up for him. I'm sure a month from now, we're going to see him down low at times, them giving him the ball. It's one game.
Yeah, that's one game.
Okay.
But when he understands he's 7'4", that's when he'll be dominant.
There you go. Speaking of one game, I'll never forget that one game that night in Sacramento when I watched an 18-year-old LeBron James score 25 points, and he already had his quote-unquote man body. He was playing physical basketball in the post, at the rim, and I was in awe of, because I'd never seen a kid that young and that, so to speak, physically immature. You would think at that point, just step on an NBA floor and say, I'm here. I have arrived. Did I see that from Wemby last night? I did not. I didn't see that. LeBron, people were afraid of him from day one. This is at Sacramento. Go look it up. 25 points on opening night. So that's what I was judging it by. Okay, show me that sort of dominance where you scare people. To Paul's point, you may scare people when you're swooping around the lane because you're 8 feet long. It's like the long arm of the law. Where is it going to come from next? Maybe Defensive Player of the Year. And again, I'm not sure who is. Listen, if that kid for Dallas last night keeps playing like this, he's going to be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Derek Lively.
Yeah. He looked good. He looked good.
All right, let's get back to the NFL. Up next, how much trouble are the Niners in if Brock Purdy cannot play on Sunday?
Here we go.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.